Hey guys, okay, I think we can start our session today. And if anybody wants, they will go to the recording. I'm sharing my screen. Yep. Before getting started, I'll just give you a quick brief about myself. My name is Venkat, and I have total 8+ years of experience into the domain of data and analytics. And throughout my experience, I have worked with startup companies and MNC companies, and I even work with the companies called Flipkart and Amazon. During this journey, I have trained a lot of data analysts and mentored a lot of them, and I even hired a few of the analysts selected in my team. So, what are the course curriculum that we see in this class is based on my own experience and my fellow data analyst experience. Based on industry related things, I curated them and I created this curriculum. So whatever we learn in this course, it is based on a real world industry experience and real world industry case studies. And the projects are also real world industry projects. Without any ado, let's get started. I'll just zoom it a bit. Yep. I hope you guys are seeing my screen. Welcome to the data analytics course. And these are our agenda today. So what are you going to learn in this session today? You are going to learn first you will going to learn what is data analytics, that I'm going to cover in this session, and demand for data analysts. This is covers how what is the demand that data analysts are having currently in the market, the based on Indian market. So that we are going to learn. So I'll give you the reasons why we are seeing this much of a demand for a data analysts. The tools in demand. The tools in the sense, what are the tools that a current data analysts are using in market? This tool comprises of mostly SQL, Excel, Python, R, and Power BI. And we are going to go through curriculum. What are the topics that I'm going to cover in our data analytics course, entire course? And I'll give you the course details, but course length, timings of the classes, and the recordings and the material. I'll talk about all these things in our course curriculum. Let's go to the next slide. So, first topic in our agenda, what is data analytics? Data analytics is nothing but a transforming raw data into actionable insight. So if you look at it here, the journey of a data, it will starts from a raw data. As a data analyst, you see you mostly the most of the cases, and 90% of cases, you start working with the raw data and end up giving a insight. The insight is nothing but a decision. So based on your insight, people will take a decision. So the process from a raw data to decision making, we call data analytics. So data analytics involves all these steps: parameters of a data collection, raw data, data arrangement, data filtering, data analysis using R, Python, Excel, maybe SQL, something, based on these are the industry tools. Maybe some other tools also might have available in the market, but maybe we might not know. And the next is pie chart and the visualization. It's after analysis, and it's also an add-on, like next step of analysis. Some people will call data analysis is within data analysis we see pie chart and visualization. So the forecasting, I'll tell you what is forecasting. And the final, you completed our data analysis and everything. The final thing is nothing but an insight that people use it for making a decision. So entire this process we call it data analytics. Now let's start with the parameters of data collection. If you ask what is the parameters of a data collection, so for example, if you want to cook a biryani, how do you start it? You start with First you see how many people we need to cook a biryani. If you have four members in a home, you will cook maybe half kg of a biryani or a 1 kg of a biryani. So the kg, right, the measure, the ingredients that you needed for a biryani, we call a parameters of a biryani. Same way, if you wanted to do a data analysis or a data analytics or something for any project, first you need to understand how much amount of a data that we are collecting. What is the analysis? Is this analysis with respect to any product? Is this analysis with respect to any tickets, or is this analysis anything related to? So the parameters involves what you are doing, and what is the quantity of a data you want, like how much period of a data you need, how much size of a data you need. All these questions will be your parameters. Answers for all these questions will be your parameters. That is called data collection. So whenever you have all these questions, you will be able to start collecting the data. If you don't have these questions, you can't able to start your analysis. Same way, if you want to cook a biryani, you need to have a rice, you need to have some kind of ingredients, you need to have some kind of a michi, you need to have some kind of aloo. So all these ingredients you needed, right, to start cooking for a biryani. So same way, if you want to start analysis, you need to know how much data to be used, and what are the how much what are the columns that you needed for your analysis, and when you needed this analysis. So what are the tools that you need to use? Maybe if you needed to use SQL or Excel or something else. All these things, the list of things that we call as the parameters of a data collection. Once you know what you need to do, the second step of data analytics is a raw data collection. What is a raw data? So when you say, uh, whenever you wanted to start starting in data analytics, you won't get all data in one source. Here, just maybe imagine source is nothing but a tables. So one table will have one data, and another table will have another data, and you need at least 4 to 5 sources to start your analysis. So that thing we call as a raw data. So why I'm not highlighting parameters of data collection is that much, because in industry most of the data analytics don't do this step. Maybe your managers or our senior members in our team will take care about this. But what you need to take care is this one, raw data. So raw data in the sense, once you get the data, and they will say that you need sales data, you need this much of a data, and you need inventory data. So they give a list, like it's not it's just an ingredients they give. So yeah, I want this analysis. For this analysis, we need this much of a data, and this is the data name, and this is the person you can go and get your data. So collecting all this data, it will all this data will be a raw form, in the sense it will be like not organized, it will be like something else. Maybe I'll show you some cases so you can able to how the raw data looks like. Commerce data, it's an Excel folder. So raw data looks like. So for starting any analysis, you might need to have a multiple data sources. So for e-commerce data, they have three data sets: sales data, store master, and product master. So if you look at it here, it will be data will be in this form, and date will be this form, and product will be this form. So, and here you see a store master, and if you look at it, sales data to store master, you see one common column between two. The common column between the sales and store is store ID. If you look at it here, store ID S001, and if you look at it here, you see store ID. Same way, product master. to sales data, you have one common connection. The common connection between these two data sets is product id. Product id. So what happened here is we have a different data sets, and each data set having some common connection. So this common connection, what this common connection tells us is that this data is linked to each other. Maybe these tables are linked to each other. So we call this data is a raw data now. So what we need to do, we need to consume this data, and somehow we need to create a centralized data. The central one consolidated data made for analysis. So that data looks like this. The consolidated data should looks like this. File size is a little big. That's why it's taking time. Just to give me a minute, it will open. So the first step. So here I showed three tables: sales data, store master, and product master. Just call this is a raw data. So once you have this raw data, you need to create this kind of a consolidated data. Means what we will do, we arrange the data in a way so you get, I'll combine all these three, and I ended up getting this much of a data. I got product id, this information from my sales data. I joined that information with my product table, so I got this much of information. So this is the middle step of our analysis. So I started with the raw data, and I combined all this data, and I got this data, analysis ready data. I call this as analysis ready data. So here the columns that I highlighted in green say it's a sales data. The column I highlighted it blue says it's a product data, and column that I highlighted in yellow, that says it is from store data. So this is how general process looks like. So just wanted to give an idea. That's why I showed that process. So that we call a raw data. So raw data will be in a different tables and different format. What we do, we take the raw data and we combine the raw data into singular or consolidated data form, and we arrange the data. We arrange the data in a particular order. So that we call an next step after raw data. What we do, we do arrangements. Arrangements involves consolidating the data and arranging the columns that we required, maybe creating the additional columns for our analysis. Some data will have only date column. For example, in the date column, what we need to do for your analysis, you need a year column. You apply some transformation and extract a year from the date. So that kind of operations that we do in a data arrangement steps. And after that, you go data filtering. This is important and very important thing in data analytics. What is data filtering? Data filtering, so when they give a raw data, they give years of data. For example, if you are analyzing a supermarket data, maybe take a dmart, and we see maybe 10-20 dmarts in a Hyderabad alone. At least you will see a 10 dmarts. Same way, all the in each city we have 10-10. Maybe if we have 8 cities, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, if you consider all these cities, you might see maybe a 20 to 80 dmart stores. When you have a 20 to 80 dmart stores, you will see a and each dmart will have a products is nothing but a sugar is a product, maybe soap is a product, and anything, maybe cashew is a product. In cashew you see 100 grams cashew, 200 grams cashew, so that called two products. One cashew might be called in a two products. One packet of 100 grams will be called as a product one. Packet of 200 grams will be called as a product two. So there will be two. So what, all these things will increase the number of rows. There will be too much of a data, too much of a rows. too much of a columns that we see. So you can't able to handle that much of a data alone. So every day they have too many sales. For example, just consider a Zomato receives 18 lakh orders per day, means 18 lakh rows. Maybe if you look at in Excel, you see here you see vertical things we call columns and horizontal things we call rows. Even Zomato receives 18 lakh orders. That means 18 lakh rows per day. One day 18 lakhs means 10 days 1.8 crore rows of a data. So analyzing 1.8 crore of a data is a difficult for you. So what you need to do is you need to limit the data for your analysis. A limit in the sense, maybe you will only take last 7 days of a data, maybe last 3 days of a data. Based on the data size, you will only limit data size for your analysis, that we call data filtering. Because the raw data will always be a huge files, huge, and there are too many lakhs of rows of records. So what you need to do is you need to filter the data. How you can ask this question, you're asking me to filter the data, how can I know which how many days of a data I want, how many rows of a data I want? You no need to worry, because this is already available in parameters of a data collection. This parameters of data collection will be filled by your manager. If not, somebody who want you to do that analysis, they fill the parameters. They say that, can you analysis supermarket sales data for a last 7 days? They'll say this kind of a thing. Like, you need to read your question again and again when you join an industry. So if you have any questions, you need to go back and ask same. Here you missed how much of a data you want and how many days of a data you want. So that kind of a questions you need to ask. Same way, one more filter that will apply is, for example, if you consider it e-commerce data, that is nothing but a DMart, so Vijata supermarket, some kind of supermarket chains. In their case, sometimes you will have to do analysis with respect to only one store. Maybe you take one store and they will ask, what are the top selling products from these stores? So what you will do, you will go to the sales data, and you will apply filter for store, and you will apply filter for a days, this many days of data I want for this store. And you look at it, what is the top, like selling means we'll convert the say sales data into products, like in the sense you'll make a pivot table, you'll keep products in your row, and you will see how much of amount, highest amount, revenue attained product, which is the by selling which product we received highest amount of money. That gives us what is the highest selling product in a store. So these all are involved in data filtering. Coming to data analysis and pie chart and visualization. So these are here they're saying a pie chart. There will be a mighty line chart, and there will be many charts are there. So some people call data analysis. Okay, I'll just zoom it a bit. So I'll take a pen also, so it will easy to point out. Pen. So some people says data analysis and data visualization both are same, and some people will treat it as a different. But you should be flexible. Like there is no point to debate. Saying that data analysis is different and data visualization is different. You can be flexible. Some people might read. Some people just want you take your raw data and consolidate raw data and create a pie chart. Some people they will ask, just create a pie chart and give me. Some people ask, just give it a pivot table and give it to me. So once you have the data ready, what you will do, you will make some kind of analysis. What is the analysis? So for example, if you take a sales data, what kind of analysis that you can do? You can do, if I have a maybe sales data for stores, you see how which store having more sales, which store having more profit. That is also one of the analysis. Or if there, like if you wanted to see which product is selling more, like we will see count of a product, and based on the sales data we say this product is selling more. So that kind of things we call data analysis. The tools are, so that you can use R, Python, Excel, and anything. data analysis, and data visualization. Uh, so data visualization, you can say making a pie chart using Excel or Excel is limited to data size. So Excel will be whenever you need to do Excel, we can only have a limited rows, maybe 2 lakh or 3 lakh rows. You can do more lakhs of rows, but when you open Excel, it will take a lot of time to open. But that won't be good like when you are in a meeting and your manager asks you to open Excel, and if the Excel is still loading, it doesn't look good, right? So that kind of a cases, you will use a Power BI to make to create your own visualizations. So this is it. Just treat data analysis and data visualization is a one step. That is data analysis. And next, once you created everything, so you have parameters of data collection that tells how much data you need and what is the time frame you need and what are type of analysis that you need to do. Once that is done, you will collect the raw data. Raw data will be too much of amount of data, and it is not arranged, it is not ordered. It will be always some kind of a date format will be some kind of included in timestamps. It won't be structured. What you will do, you will consolidate data, you will do your joining operations, and you will arrange the data in order. And after arranging the data, you will apply filters. The filters like you will limit the data. So okay, this much of amount of data we don't need for analysis, we just need this many days. This many days may be a 10 days, sometimes it may be a 3 days, or sometimes it may be a 30 days, based on the data size and based on the analysis that they required. And the third step, once you are done, you can do your own pivot tables, you can do your own pivot charts, you can do your own dashboards, either Excel dashboards or a Power BI dashboards. It involves lot like tool. There will be some kind of a tool chain. That's all. Next is after you created everything, so entire this process, entire this decision making as a data analyst, you are involved to do all this process like raw data to decision making. This is all at a high level overview. Maybe once we go to the class, I'll give you a step by step in the sense how we do each process and how we do analysis in Excel, how we do analysis in SQL, a Python, or a Power BI. We can go one by one in depth. So just for context, I just wanted to know what are the steps that involved in data analytics. How does that looks like? So to give us some idea about data analytics, I'm just showing this slide. Let's go to the another slide. Okay, this is the demand for data analysis. So whatever I till now explained is to tell this is the data analytics, and data analytics work looks like this. That is good, but you need to have some kind of a confidence that okay, I'm learning a data analytics course. Is there any demand available for this course in future? That kind of a question you might have. So I'm just here the graph. I'm showing it to you guys. It shows. First, let me explain the graph. The graph here y-axis shows 60 means 60k, 120 means 120k, 180 means 180k. 180k mean in the sense 1.8 lakh. And here the x-axis that shows years 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. What this graph is saying to us is in 2028 we have uh, 42k, it's around 42k, that around less than, let's see, it is not difficult to pinpoint 42k or 45. It's a less than 60k jobs are available for data analyst in India. But if you look at it 2023, there are more than 1 lakh 20k jobs are available for data analysts in India. So this is the growth that we see for a data analyst. So every year 20 to 24% vacancies are getting created. In the sense, vacancies are in the sense jobs, when jobs are getting created every year. If you look at it here, even 2020 and 2021, that is the period of a COVID. Lot of people lost their job, but still industry created some jobs for data analysts. So every year the trend of data analysts are increasing. So I just wanted to give a some confidence that the market for data analysis is still there, and it will grow further. So maybe currently it is growing at a 24% per annum, like every year it is increasing 24%. In the sense, for example, if you see this year there is a 1 lakh openings, maybe next year you will see 1 lakh 24 openings in India for a data analyst. That kind of a number that we are seeing for a data analyst. So so just I know you guys are here, means you already decided to learn data analytics, and I just wanted to give some surety that we have a demand, this course having demand in a market. So this is demand. The next slide will tell us. So okay, I explained you what is data analytics and what are the steps that involved in data analytics and what is the journey of a data looks like. So raw data to this, and I explained what is the current demand. So it's all good. So you might ask this question. So you are saying there is this much of a demand, sir, for data analytic course. From where this demand is coming? You can ask this question. So if I ask, the answer for that question is because of a technology growth. Whenever we see a technology growth and we see a data growth, if there is a data growth is there, means there is a need for a data analyst. There is always a need for a data analyst if there is a data. So how this data is getting generated? First is internet usage. Nowadays, like maybe 8 years, maybe 10 years down the line, we don't 10 years before, not down the line, 10 years before, we don't have internet that much. Maybe there is an internet, but only limited people are having access to the internet. So now if you look at it, everybody is having internet in mobile, and people are doing their own things in mobile, like they own searching. Earlier they used to wait for a newspaper, and even access of TV is also very limited. Only few people used to have. People used to go to in village. There will be libraries and temples, and they used to go there, and they used to get only one newspaper, and they used to read. But now it's not like the case. Everybody having uh, internet connection, and they're doing their own search. So whenever you do a search, you will release some kind of a digital prints. What is the digital prints? You will release some browsing history to your browser. And whenever you buy internet pack, your cellular company, might be a Geo or a Vodafone or Idea, they will record a transaction, the so and so number recharge this much of amount on this day, this plan valid from this date to this day. So this much of all this information, right, all this information will be saved for that company. Whatever, whenever you make a phone call, you will have one, in your call recording you will see one kind of a transaction and a record in the sense, you dialed calls, you will see, okay, this call you did this, dialing of this call for this time. So all this, it's not only saved in your mobile, the same data will be saved in the company's database. Like for example, if you're using a geo and you made a call, and there is a call recording available in your mobile in a hardware, and the same call data will be available to the geo company. So not only you, all the people, maybe if geo having 1 crore customers, means they need to save 1 crore customers data. The customer data involves their recharge transaction, they need to save, they need to save call transactions, they need to save, they need to save text messages, they need to save. So all these things are not there in before 10 years. Now it is there, so that is the reason we see a data growth. Not only that, for example, the banking, if you go in banking, what happening currently, I don't know like what is the last time I visited bank, because whatever the transaction I want, I'm doing it using my mobile. The phone pay is doing, even 10 rupees transaction I'm doing with my mobile. I forgot like what is the last time I went to bank. Even I stopped going to the ATMs also. Whatever we need, what are the transactions you need, that is happening with using our mobile. Maybe take it as a phone pay, maybe a Google Pay, some other app. So whenever there's kind of a technology growth we see, we call this is whatever we are seeing currently the digital adoption. Whenever the digital adoption increases, there we see a rise in data, and if there is a rise in data, there is a demand for data analyst. That is the whole point. So everywhere the we can see growth in data in every industry, every industry. You can take maybe e-commerce, there is a storing data, maybe banks they are storing data, credit card transaction they will record, they will record your purchase transaction they will record. And because like you name it, like in everything they will say, whatever the company you can name a company, and you see they'll share lot of amount of data. So whenever if you wanted to go somewhere, what you will do, you use Google Maps direction, that is also generates the data. So whatever you do, like we were generating the data. It's like in 20th generation, we were born to create a data that will be useful for another companies. So business insights, what is a business insights? How data analysis useful for a business insights? It is nothing but a maybe a supermarket. For example, consider a seasonal fruit mango. So mangoes will comes in once in every year, maybe April May period, the mangoes will come to the market. So how so what a supermarket will do, supermarket stores every year sales data. In the sense, maybe if one supermarket that is selling mangoes every year, they look before buying this year's mangoes, what they will do, they'll look at the past data. In the sense, they'll take a last year data, and they'll see how many mangoes that we sold last year. Maybe they will say last year if they sold 200,000 mangoes, maybe 2 lakh mangoes. What they will do this year also, first initially they will buy 2 lakh mangoes, and they keep it in their warehouse, maybe in a freezer to store. So they need some plan, right? Same way, maybe if you consider a bakery, bakeries they have the bakeries are having demand for entire year. But if you look at it, December and January, with December we say Christmas, and January we see New Year. So there are too many like lot of sales happens for cakes. How much powder need to buy, how much creams need to buy, how much flour need to buy, all this information they need to have, right, to prepare a cakes. And the current year means this year, and they can't do it in at a time. They'll do it in they need to prepare all this at least a month before. So that means they need to create a cakes, they need to cook a cakes before actual sales are happens. So they, for starting they need to prepare a 1 month before, and they need to prepare a 2 months before. How did they get that number? They get that number they will go to their sales data and they'll see last year December how many cakes we sold, and they will get some number. Based on that number, they prepare cakes for this year. The preparation involves buying a cake powder, buying a cream, buying ovens, maybe oils, maybe some kind of sugars, ingredients, all these things. So that's how that is the requirement to for storing a data for a maybe cake company. So so that kind of a business insights that data will provide. So machine learning, yeah, what is the machine learning and artificial intelligence? So this is very interesting. Maybe some you might be using a chat gpt nowadays, right? Machine learning in the sense based on the patterns in a data, machine understands what is actually going to happen in next. So one kind of example for machine learning is we see a weather data, right? Weather data in our mobile. They say tomorrow you can expect tomorrow temperature will be this much. Maybe day after tomorrow temperature will be this much, right? How the machine learning knows that? So what machine learning will do? For example, machine learning is an application. The machine learns what happens in future. How does machine know? Machine will take the last year data or past data. Don't use the term last year. Use the term called past data. Machine always does the past data, and they say that okay, this if machine learning algorithm applied to a household, maybe let's say it is applied to household, just say house of 4 people. So what in this application, the machine learning need to predict how much of a rice need to buy for a next month, how much of amount of a rice this family needs for a next month. That kind of a prediction machine learning algorithm need to do. So for doing this, what machine learning algorithm will do, it will take a last year data or a past data and see, and it will take how much amount of rice they're consuming on Mondays, how much amount of rice they're consuming in Tuesday. Each day they will do each day they'll see it, and they will say okay, Mondays they're eating this much of amount, and maybe Saturdays they are not eating rice, they're eating some kind of idlis. So based on that analysis, machine learning will do, and will machine learning will project okay, Monday this family needs 700 grams of rice, and Tuesday this family needs 700 grams of rice. Like that way it will give. Maybe Saturday this family don't need rice, they don't eat rice on Saturdays. Maybe something like that a machine learning algorithm do. uh, to if you want to for working machine learning also require data, right? So that's why people will store their data. Everybody will store their data. Machine learning, like the work of a machine learning or artificial intelligence depends upon a data. So whenever there is a data, so to give a data to machine learning, the data analyst need to perform some activities, like you need to take the raw data, you need to consolidate, you need to arrange the data in order, you need to filter the data, and you need to give the data to a data scientist or a data uh, mostly data scientist or a machine learning engineer. Then machine learning engineer or a data scientist apply his machine learning algorithm. That's what here also in machine learning also there is a requirement of a data analyst. Coming to cyber security and fraud detection. So this term, cyber security and fraud term, we hear from mostly from credit card theft and credit card stolen kind of activities. What they will do, so whenever somebody stole our credit card, what they will do, they do three wrong attempts, or maybe they do two wrong attempts, and it will block for a day. So that kind of activities requires a data. Like every time you do a transaction with your credit card will record how much amount you withdraw and where did you withdraw and the location of the even though it will record your GPS in the sense they'll pinpoint latitude and longitude, those things they'll do. So that's why police, what the police are doing, they're tracking some. criminals using their credit card transactions. They'll whenever somebody is missing, the police, what they'll do, police will do a phone call tracking first. They'll see, okay, where from where this person is making phones. They'll track a sim card location. If that is not working, they'll go to the credit card, and they'll go to the credit card transactions of that person where he's doing. If that is not working, they'll go to the ATM transactions of that person. So the police have too many ways to track. Same way, if your credit card got stolen by somebody, the credit card companies have their own cyber security or fraud detection algorithms that will detect whenever you do a transaction, is this a correct transaction, or, or a false transaction. So for example, if you have a ATM card, maybe, or a credit card, you are doing every most of the time you are doing only 3000, 4000 kind of a transaction. Whenever you do a 50,000 transaction, like it's something new that you have not done in past. Every time you used to do only 3000 rupees transactions or 4000 rupees transaction. Whenever you suddenly do a 50,000 transaction, credit card, some companies will detect, and immediately they try to call you. Can you, sir, you will get a call that, we identified there is a 50,000 transaction. If it is done by you, please press 1. Kind of a call you used to get. If you still not encounter this kind of a call, try doing it. Maybe just see if you're not getting this thing or not. Because credit card companies also, they analyze our transaction. They will say that this person will not, the higher limit of this person always do only 9,000 rupees transaction. He never done 50,000 rupees transaction is a credit card. If there is a 50,000 transaction happens from his credit card, somebody stolen or somebody unauthorized person is doing this transaction. Kind of a thing they will detect. For doing this detection also, they needed data. So so these are just a like 4 examples I'm giving. There are many examples are there, for no, for the demand of data analyst and the growth of the data. So let's coming to our class. These are the tools that I'm going to teach in this data analytics course. One is SQL, Excel, Python, and Power BI R. So here I'm showing some numbers. So the what is the use of these tools, and how much percentage of a data analysts are using these tools. And these numbers are based on the current 2025 data. So if you look at it, SQL, the purpose of SQL for querying a database, preparing a data sets. Querying it, in the sense, you all the data, the initial data will all the data will be available in our database, and SQL is a language that will talk to database and bring the data or extract the data from the database. So just imagine SQL is a kind of agent. What you will do, whenever we need a data, we tell SQL that I need this data, go and talk to database and get the data. Kind of a way, we kind of interpretation you need to do. Just SQL is the only person who can able to talk to database. So here I'm showing a number called 95%, right? What is this number? The 95% in the sense, maybe you have 100 data analysts are there in a city. 95% of them are using SQL. Like 90% of the data analysts are currently, like maybe 90% of data analysts are aware about SQL. They know what is SQL. They know how to perform SQL. So you can say that the SQL is the most required uh, language that the data analysts need to have. So no need to worry about SQL is a language and all. It's a very easiest language of compared to all the languages. You compare C or maybe Java or anything else. It's the most easiest because there is only 18 to 20 functions. That's all. You just need to learn 18 to 20 functions. You will become an expert in Excel. Sorry, SQL. You will become an expert in SQL. Coming to next tool is in Excel. So here if you look at it here, there are 90% of data analysts are using Excel. Maybe 90% of data analytics teams are using Excel. So what is the uses of Excel? So in Excel, when I say Excel will be limited to small data. There is a restrictions of a data size in Excel, so you can't analyze, lakhs of rows in Excel. There may be thousands of rows you can analyze. So the purpose of Excel is data cleaning, reporting, pivot tables, pivot charts, and we can make some kind of Excel dashboards also. So next is Python. Over 70% of data analysts are using Python. What purpose they're using? They're using analysis purpose, scripting, automation, and machine learning. So machine learning is maybe for sake of information I added here, but as part of our course curriculum, this is not a part of it. And we will do analysis, scripting, and automation using our Python. So the next tool that is in demand is Power BI. So if you look at it, 60% of data analysts are using Power BI. The purpose of the Power BI is to create a dashboards and a business reports. The mostly some people will use Power BI also for analysis, but it's okay. It's okay. There is no harm using Power BI for analysis. But the requirement out there in the market is to create a dashboards and Power BI. Then last tool that is included in this course is R. The currently the demand for R is only 20%, but it is growing. The R is also growing. That's why I included in our curriculum. We we can learn R at the end, maybe at the fourth or fifth module. So statistical modeling and research and academic use. So now this also we currently we can use R the for so here we are using Python, right? Python we are using analysis, scripting, and automation. We use R for same kind of activities. What are the activities that we are doing here? We can do same activities using R, but the development of R is done for this purpose: statistical analytic modeling and academic use. Academic use in the sense, academics means education purposes they created it. But now what people are doing, there some companies are using R in place of Python, because R is designed non software people designed R. Like the coding of R is a bit easier than a Python, but once you have Python, R is very easy. So yeah, so adding one more tool in our resume doesn't harm, and it is not that much of complicated. So that's why I included here. And here we see a 20% for only 2025. It will grow. There is the tool currently it is only 20%, but in future you see more demand. That is also one of the reason I added R in our course. Let's go to the next slide. So this is the high level overview of our course curriculum. So this is an high level. Just I listed out what are the main important topics in the each and every tool. But if you want a detailed course curriculum, please go through our DurgaSoft website and look at the each and every day section of the course. So let's see what I'm going to teach you in Excel. Here I teach introduction of Excel. So logical and arithmetic functions. We have a lookup operations. The lookup operations we use for joining two or more tables and bringing column from another table. Date and text functions and pivot tables, charts and pivot tables. And additionally, I have some dashboards also, Excel dashboards and Excel business reports. So I did not add it here, but I'll cover that also. Coming to SQL, in SQL we learn introduction is there, and we learn about databases and table structures. Table structures I'll teach, select and filtering operations, joins and grouping, set operations. Window functions are advanced functions. I'll also teach that in our class. Coming to Python, data types and data structures, conditions and loops, file input and operations, pandas and numpys. Some people will call it the packages. Some people will call this as a libraries. I'll teach that. And in Python, we have EDS and projects. EDS are nothing but a exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis that we call EDA. And there are the projects also involved here. The project means creating a dashboard. Maybe creating an doing an EDA is also one of the project. Creating a business report is also a project. Same are whatever the things that we do in Python, we can do same things. Data types and data structures, programming constants. It is the same. It seems like conditions and loops. Tidy words for manipulations. So here same way whatever we do in here file input and output operation we do using tidy words for uh, and pandas and numpys. These two parts can be done in tidy words for manipulation. File input and operations and pandas and numpy in Python. The same things whatever we are doing, the same thing that we can do in tidy words for manipulation chapter in R. And in R also we have EDA and automation projects. Coming to Power BI, the Power BI, these are, so whatever I'm talking in this slide, it's only key components I pasted it in it in the slides because it's difficult to put everything in one slide. So if you want a detailed each and every topic, please refer our DurgaSoft course curriculum for analyst course. So at a high level, Power BI will teach Power Query and Power Editor visualization. Visualization will be like pie chart, line chart, Gantt chart. There will be too many charts and filters and sizes and the DAX functions and dashboards. Dashboards in terms how to create a dashboard, how to complete the dashboard, start to finish. In this class, I'll like it's like a hands-on doing. First, you will see what I'm doing, and you will do it by yourself. It's like the first demo session only I'm using PPT, so that you will get an understanding that what is the data analytics course looks like, what are the curriculum looks like, what are the syllabus looks like, what are the activities that data analysts do. So I just wanted to give all this idea in this our first demo class. That's why I'm using a PPT. But from tomorrow's or next subsequent classes, it won't be a PPT type of a classes. It will be a hands-on class. Hands-on class in the sense I'll work on I'll for introduction classes I'll explain it and you guys learn. For real world scenarios, I'll do it by myself and you people will absorb it, and you after the class you will repeat the same in your own time. That's how the class pattern works. Let's go to the next slide. Course details. Coming to course details, I already explained course curriculum is developed based on a real world industry experience. So whatever I teach is something that industry people will use, the case studies and the project and the functions that I teach here. So next timing will be every day morning 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. So maybe we can go ahead with 9 a.m. for now. If it's required, I'll move it to 8 a.m. Monday to Friday, Saturday, Sunday is holiday, and course material and assignments will be provided. Like I'll after 2 3 class after completion of 2 or 3 classes, I'll give a material for you to refer, and you will get access for the recordings. You can go through the recordings of every class. Yeah, this is all about the introduction intro class of data analytics. If you guys are having any questions, please do ask. I'll just end the slideshow now. So prerequisite, you don't need any prerequisite to start this course. Like you can come with a zero, just have understanding. So I'll give you some basic understanding of the that how data looks like. The requisites for this class is zero. like you no need to know anything. You come with a zero idea about things. I'll give you an idea and I'll explain how to start. And without having some, you no need to have any past data analytics skills to start this course. If anybody is doing another work in the sense another domain, maybe some people might be doing maybe support, some people might be in a customer service, those people also can start this course without any past experience and without any knowledge, past knowledge about these tools. Okay, fine. Sure. If there is no other questions, we can close this. Please reach out to Institute Management for the registration. Yeah, and they will provide the subsequent information. Okay, how many days it will require to complete? Okay, it will only require 2 months. The 2 months, if it's required, we can extend it to a week, maybe two. That's all. Mostly, the course will get completed in 2 months. Okay, we're about time. I'll just stop my screen share. Yep. Thanks all. Have a nice day. Let's connect in tomorrow's class. Bye. Bye everyone.
Okay, thank you.